So, shall I start, sir? I will sharing my screen. Hello. So, today's my topic is gender and language in Coetzee 4 on psychoanalytic analysis. Next slide. Here is a brief introduction about the Zen Coetzee. Is a South African novelist, essayist, linguistic translator, and recipient of the 2003 Nobel Prize in Literature. He is one of the most critically acclaimed and decorated author in the English language. Next slide. And here is Jean Coetzee's Foy as a novel. Foy is a 1986 novel by South African-born Nobel laureate Jean Coetzee, woven around the existing plot of Robinson Crusoe. Foy is written from the perspective of Susan Barton, a castaway who land on the same island inhabited by Crusoe and Friday as their adventures were already underway. Next slide. And here is a brief story view. Susan Barton is one quest to find her kidnapped daughter, who she knows has been taken to the New World. She is set adrift during a mutiny on a ship to Lisbon. When she comes ashore, she finds Friday and Crusoe, who has grown complex content to forget his past and live his life on the island with Friday tongues by what Crusoe claims to have been the act of former slave owners in Athens. Arriving near the end of their residence, Barton is on the island for only a year before the trio is rescued. But the homesick Crusoe doesn't survive the voyage to England. Next slide. And in England, with Friday, Barton attempts to set her adventures on the Iceland to paper, but she feels her effort lack popular appeal. She's trying to convince novelist Daniel Foy to help with her manuscript, but he doesn't agree on which of her adventures is interesting. Foy would prefer to set her story of the Iceland as one of episode of a more formulaic story of a mother looking for a lost daughter. And when he doesn't write the story, she wishes fabulates about Crusoe's adventures rather than relating her facts, frustrating Barton's effort further. Who becomes a lover, is preoccupied with depth and has a little time or energy to write about anything. Barton's story takes a twist with the return of someone claiming to be her missing daughter. Next slide. And inability of language. Novel 4 is of the inability of language to express the story in some way. Coetzee is telling the truth is impossible. The writer always dissociates and in the process, the truth gets lost somewhere. Every narrative is a faulty narrative. The writer cares about what is going to sell in the market. He is not concerned about the truth. And this brilliant portrayal of psyche of a writer. Coetzee is telling that writers are not concerned by the truth, but by the perceived beauty of the narrative about what will the audience, the readers, will think of as beautiful. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Hello. And gender and identity. Susan Barton is the only one remaining who can tell and confirm the truth. But she is a woman, and hence not in the power of changing and controlling the narrative of the novel, also of life. She is silenced by more practical voice of Foy, who is the typical misogynistic white superiority complex ridden male. He changed the narrative so much that the story becomes unrecognizable. Hence, Coetzee is telling us how much the original story of Robinson Crusoe must have been, how it was interpreted by the world. Next slide. And is the power struggle and the problem of language. On the other hand, there is the voice of Susan Barton. Poesy has narrated the misogynistical of history in which women were dispossessed and removed from the position of power. They had the art of sympathize with the downtrodden, but not the position of power to make any change. It was a world dominated by chauvinistic, misogynistic males who did not care of sensibilities of women. Any story told by men was not how a woman would view the world. Half of uh, half of humanity had no voice. That is projected in the foil by the helplessness of Susan Barton and her ultimate failure in telling the true story of Crusoe. It is a brilliant retelling of the age of colonialism. Next slide. And here is my reference. And guys, thank you.